What's up? Welcome back to Beauty in the Bookcase and another episode of Beauty on a Budget. So as I said last week, I wanted to talk about Ireland in today's video. So I'm going to be doing a look inspired a bit by the Irish flag and just talk about some of my favorite places that I visited while I was living there. So we're going to get started with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Water Drop Primer. This is like coconut scented. Ooh, okay. So right off the bat, it's kind of the texture kind of like a moisturizer or like a body butter kind of thing. So it is water-based. I did know that, so that's probably why it's a lot more watery than other primers that I've used, which are silicone-based, so they're a bit thicker. I do tend to prefer having silicone-based primers. I just like the texture better, and I feel like stuff sticks to it better, so we'll see how this works. Next, I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. 2-in-1 primer. So this has, one side is a primer, an eye primer, and then the other side has a little wand to sort of seal your eyeliner. I don't know if I'm allergic to it. I know this really stings when I put it on, so I don't know if it's the formula or if it's just because I have really sensitive skin, but I do avoid that sealer. So I actually lived in Ireland for like a year and a half. I originally went over with a study abroad program from my university. I had a poetry professor who really was in love with Yeats' work, so she often talked about Yeats during our classes, and she'd show us pictures from her trips, and you know, it just looked so beautiful, and I had the opportunity to go. So yeah, so I went there for a semester. I fell in love with it, honestly. I made some really good friends. I had really awesome roommates. I ended up having, we used to say that we were kind of like the UN or something, because we were all from different places. I had a roommate from Barcelona, one from Finland, one from the Netherlands, one from America, and there was me. And it was really fun. It was a really fun time living with those girls, and you know, it's one of those things that you don't often get to spend time with people from so many different countries and, you know, all at once. And it was really cool. It was a really great experience. They were lovely girls. They were kind of like my kids, you know. I'm not big on like going out, so whenever they'd go out, I'd always like stay up waiting for them. And my friend and roommate Lou, she was from the Netherlands, she always like brought me french fries from McDonald's when they went out. It was really cute. So yeah, that was a really cool experience, and a great way to sort of be introduced. And it was really nice. I got to show them around a bit because I'd been there the longest. So that was really nice, and it was awesome. It was awesome living with those girls. And when I went back, it was weird not being with them, because I had gotten so used to just like, you know, the bond that we had. But then when I went back for my master's, I lived with 2 American girls and a French girl. They were really nice too. They were really sweet. I especially bonded with my French roommate, which Sophie's very quiet. So we didn't really bond until like my second semester, and I felt so sad afterwards because I was like, ugh, we got on so well, and I wish, you know, we could have spent more time together than we did. But yeah, she's awesome. When I went back, I'd already had friends there from the first time I'd been there, plus I was working an internship at the university. I spent a lot of my time with the people I'd met, so I guess I didn't bond as much with my roommates as I wish I had, but still they were lovely, and I had a really nice time living with them. So yeah, number one thing that I would suggest when you go to Ireland is just find ways to just like interact with the people, because Irish people are ridiculously nice. I should have mentioned I wasn't in Dublin, I was in Cork. Cork is like the south of Ireland, and it's the real capital, if you didn't know that. We don't like Dublin and Cork, so I have some interesting feelings towards Dublin because I became such like a Cork person, and Cork has such a special place in my heart. So I guess I wanted to make this video mostly to talk about, like, I guess little places and fun adventures that you can have that aren't exactly just the, you know, the general stuff that everyone does. Or, I mean, touristy type stuff that I would suggest would be the Guinness, for sure. The Guinness up in Dublin is awesome. You'll have the best Guinness of your life because it's made there. And honestly, like, of course it's meant as a tourist trap, but you know, sometimes you go to tourist traps and you're like, wow, that was not worth the money. But I actually learned a lot while being at the Guinness, and it was just fun. I definitely think it's worth it. I went twice, and like both times I was like, yeah, that was a good way to spend my money. Also, if you do get the chance, I would definitely suggest you stop by the Jameson distillery. It's in Middleton, and it's awesome. It's an awesome experience. You get to learn a lot about their history and how they make everything, and it's a bit more museum-like. And like when you go into the Guinness, it's kind of like just like, this is how beer is made, and these are like our most famous ads, and this is, you can learn how to pour a pint and all that type of stuff. But with the Jameson, it's more like, this was like our original factory, and you know, this is what each building was used for, and all that type of stuff. And it's really fun, and you get to do a tasting at the end. They also do like a different tour that's just a tasting of all their whiskeys, and I would suggest that if you like whiskey. If not, if you don't want to do that, because you know, you kind of gotta choose one or the other, just because, you know, you can't afford it or something, I would definitely suggest in their gift shop, they have like little gift boxes with like the minis of, if not all of them, a lot of their whiskeys. And so I actually bought those, and I did a little tasting with one of my friends, just in like my apartment. So next up, we're gonna go with this. This is also, I just got this. It's the Vanilla Cream Truffle BH Cosmetics Blush Palette, and I did not know that this actually smelled like vanilla cream truffle, and it's heavenly. Other touristy things that I did that I really enjoyed, I would definitely say go to Blarney Castle. However, the castle to me was the least impressive part. I mean, it's okay. So it's not like one of those things where it's kind of like, oh, this is like where the family used to live and all these things happen and stuff. So yeah, castle's a castle. It's nice. Don't kiss the Blarney Stone. That's disgusting. People have like peed and stuff on that. Just don't do that because it's gross. But it's definitely worth to go and spend a whole day, because they have these gardens that go on forever. The grounds are ginormous, and when I went with my best friend Danny when he came to visit me, and we did a tour. We did the paddy wagon tours, which I would advise so much. Those are so fun. The guides are always super fun. The guides are just awesome. They know so much, and they're really funny, and you just really get a feel for everything. But yeah, I wish honestly that I just spent a whole day in Blarney, because they have like fairy gardens and druid ruins, and oh my god, it's amazing. They have like a poison garden, which is kind of just like plants that could kill. They're obviously all like protected in different ways, so nobody accidentally ingests or touches anything they're not supposed to. But honestly, just make a day out of going to Blarney Castle, because it's amazing. And speaking of that tour, Cove is also fantastic. Cove is part of Cork, I think. So Cove is the last stop that the Titanic made. So when you go to Cove, they have like a little welcome center, and that was really cool because you can kind of learn about like the history of Cove, which includes pirates and all sorts of things, since it is a port town. It was a gorgeous church. It's kind of on top of this like hill, so it's a bit of a climb, but it's so beautiful and so worth it. And then they have the Titanic Museum, because Cove it's a small-ish town. You usually go to visit the Welcome Center, go to the Titanic Museum, go to the church, have some food, and go. You know, it's not like a super, super busy town, but the Titanic Museum is awesome. You get like your ticket, when you buy a ticket, it's actually a ticket from a passenger. So you get to know a bit about them, and at the end there's these screens that kind of tell the story of why they were on the ship and, you know, if they survived and stuff. And I think it really makes it such a personal experience that I would 100% recommend that you go to that museum, because it's really cool. It's a really cool experience, and you get to learn a lot about the Titanic and, you know, see the last port and all that type of stuff. So and speaking of tiny towns in Cork, Kinsale is awesome. I love Kinsale. Kinsale is kind of known because it has like these super colorful little houses, so everyone's just kind of like, oh, it's so cute. But more than that, you know, they're also known for their food. They have great food down there. Sort of like a gastronomical haven, so to speak. So yeah, food is great. They have a fort, and it's super trippy because their fort, if you look at pictures of it, looks surprisingly, not like once you're inside, but like the outside of it, like in profile when you can just see the outside of the fort with the sea, it looks a lot like El Morro in Puerto Rico. And it was really trippy for me, having seen both. Once you're inside, they're pretty different, but it's a really fun experience. It's really nice out there, and it's beachy, and you can just sort of chill. Like, Kinsale is a place to just go walk around and chill. Back to more cliche kind of stops. The Cliffs of Moher are beautiful. However, I'll be honest, I went to Mizzen Head first, and I actually liked it better. I mean, they're both beautiful, they're both breathtaking, and you know, those kinds of things where you're like, when else am I gonna experience this? But yeah, there was just something really unique about Mizzen Head, and Mizzen Head is a bit more interactive, I guess. You know, with the cliffs, you have the cliffs, and then there's a museum part if you want to go into it, but you don't have to. Versus in Mizzen Head, you kind of go through this trek where they explain to you like what the people who used to work there did, and it's breathtaking, it's gorgeous. I would, if you had to choose one, I would say go to Mizzen Head instead of the cliffs, but they're both worth it, I'd say. Next, I kind of want to talk about the beaches in Ireland because they were such a bizarre experience for me, because, you know, I grew up in the tropics, and so I've seen a bunch of beaches, obviously. But when I went to a few beaches in Ireland, because I went to a beach that I really, really liked. I mean, it's not that I didn't like the beaches. They were just a very different experience. The first one I went to was Blarney Cove, and that was really nice. But it was the fall, so it was kind of cold. And when I went to Dingle, which is also really nice, it's sort of way up north, and it's kind of known for its dolphins and whatnot. So yeah, Dingle is also another place that you should definitely visit, and they do a paddy wagon tour. The beaches, for me, you know, it was always still almost too cold, and the sand doesn't burn your feet, and you know, I don't know, it just, one of the ones we went to, I think it was the one in Dingle actually, just kind of smelled like cattle, which is a really weird experience because it makes sense when you're there, but like, you know, Puerto Rico is very much like, here's the coast and the beaches, here is countryside, middle of nowhere. And it was just kind of such a weird juxtaposition of like, these two things are right next to each other, and you're going to smell cows while you're at the beach, and it's supposed to be normal. So yeah, I don't know, that was a really odd experience for me, but I mean, they're nice beaches, they're pretty, and the good thing about them not being super hot is that you can just have a walk around the sand without like experiencing horrible pain. So yeah, and they're just kind of nice to just chill, you know. Like I said before, I don't swim, so I kind of just like beaches for their aesthetic more than for like swimming. Can't rate that. They weren't very like wavy either. You know, it wasn't the type of thing where you're like, whoa, those are crazy waves. I don't think there were waves at all, or like they were very gentle, very gentle. So they're definitely sort of more tame, but it's definitely nice. It's a nice experience, it's a different experience. But going back to, well, I guess let's talk about Dublin a bit, because that's where most people go. If you can, I would 100% recommend you watch a performance at the Abbey Theatre. So the Abbey Theatre, the current building is not the original building. The original building burned down like ages ago. But if you can go and watch a performance, go. I would literally purposefully take the like 3-hour trip from Cork to Dublin just to go watch a play and go back like to Cork, because they're so good. They're really good, and they're just really worth it. I would definitely say go there. That theater was started by Yates. It's super affordable compared to like the prices you'd see in America. So that's also why I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take the bus and go watch a play, because it's not hundreds and hundreds of dollars to see a show, and the acting is really good and everything is amazing. So I would definitely recommend that. Other than that, there's a lot of museums. Some that I really liked. I do know they just opened like a book museum or a museum of literature or something. Haven't been to one because I haven't been to Ireland since then, but it sounds good. But they do have like the Writers Museum, and it's really cool in there. They kind of have like wax figures of famous Irish authors, and you can hear a recording of James Joyce reading part of, it's either Ulysses or The Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man, but it's weird. It's such a crazy experience that you can sort of hear him. I don't know, it was awesome to me. The Leprechaun Museum. I love the Leprechaun Museum, and everyone always looks at me like, what? It sounds odd, I know, to be like, oh my god, go to the Leprechaun Museum, because it sounds super stereotypical, but it's not like, hoo-hoo, Lucky Charms, bottom of the rainbow, pot of gold kind of thing. It's actually a really cool museum about like Irish mythology and folklore. So I learned a lot. Things like leprechauns are fairies. I didn't know that. And yeah, they have like really awesome, like their tour guides are storytellers, so they'll kind of tell you different stories about Irish mythology, and they do different tours. So they have like their regular day tour, and then they have a tour at night where it's more like spooky stories of Irish mythology. I've done both. They're both awesome. Just go to the freaking Leprechaun Museum. It's the best thing that's ever happened to humanity. I love that museum. The botanical gardens, they're free and they're stunning. So at the Dublin Zoo too. The Dublin Zoo is not free, but it's really awesome, guys. I really enjoyed going to the Dublin Zoo. It's ginormous. Well, I mean, it was ginormous to me. I don't know if it's really that big, but it's fairly big, and it's just so fun. And I saw like a lot of animals I didn't even know existed, and food is surprisingly nice. Like, you know how sometimes, you know, when you go to tourist trappy things like zoos and stuff, the food is just all right. The food was surprisingly really good. So there you go. Those are probably like my highlights of Dublin. Cork, the Opera House is also pretty good. Places to eat is really what I'm gonna tell you about. Oh my god. There's this place called Jackie Lennox. It's a chipper. If you don't know what a chipper is, because they don't really exist in America, and I don't know if they exist anywhere else outside of like Ireland and the UK. A chipper is a place where you literally go buy chips, french fries. And Jackie Lennox's is the greatest blessing that has ever been given to us. It's delicious, it's amazing. Like, I was just told by like a cab driver to go there because I lived like a 5-minute walk from it, if that. And I am in love with it and I miss it constantly. I'm like, I could really just go for some chips from Jackie Lennox's. They give you giant portions, super affordable, super delicious. Just do yourself a favor. If you're ever in Ireland, go to Cork, have Jackie Lennox's. Yeah. This is not sponsored, but if they want to sponsor me, please do. I'll find a way to move back to Cork and just only eat Jackie Lennox's for the rest of my life. There's also other places like Latana is sort of on that same street. They make pretty good pizza. There's the Franciscan Well. The Franciscan Well is actually pretty nice. It's a bar, but it's also a pizza place. Kind of confusing, but it's a really chill spot to go to. If you do like going out, like I said, I'm not a going out type of person. However, my friends were. So particularly my friend Ina wanted me to be a normal young person and do normal young people things. So she took me dancing to Chambers, but I liked it because I didn't feel uncomfortable when I was there, and I feel like I would have if I was just at a regular like nightclub. If you want really amazing hot chocolate, there's 2 places. There's Insomnia Cafe that's on top of a bookstore called Eason's, which also, if you love books, just be prepared to spend a lot of money there and in Weatherstones, because yeah, it's so many beautiful books, so little time, you know. Insomnia Cafe, they make really good hot chocolate, and the hot chocolate in the Webworks Eco House, it's like an internet cafe in town, and I spent all of my time in there. They also make really nice banoffee pie, which is like this weird Irish cake thing with like bananas and chocolate and caramel, and it's delicious. Just get it, it's amazing. Best dessert I've had in my life. I mean, it's kind of, you know, of course, when I was considered, you go like, ugh, that is super sweet, but it's delicious and worth it. What else can I advise you to do? I don't know. I mean, I think my best memories are just from hanging out with people and just understanding more about Irish life. If you're studying abroad and you get the chance to like, oh God, what is that called? Like instead of living in a dorm, you get like a family to take you in. You can do that. I would definitely suggest it. I didn't do that, but I did have my best friend's family essentially adopt me, and it was awesome because you get to know a lot about Irish life and how people grow up differently than you and all that type of stuff just from, you know, spending time in their homes, and it's just a great experience. I would definitely recommend that if you have the opportunity and the ability to actually spend time in an Irish home with an Irish family, like host family, that's what it's called. If you have time to get a host family, or even if you just, you know, have someone that you can like build a good relationship with and experience sort of like just time with their family, like definitely do it, because one of my, yeah, like a lot of my favorite memories are just from being in a friend's home with their family and like sharing a meal, or, you know, just stuff like that. Getting and experiencing an Irish mammy in real life is it's a gift, guys. It's a gift. Yeah, I mean, anytime somebody asks me like, would you like recommend I go to Ireland? The answer is always yes, because it was the best time of my life. I haven't lived there for like 2 years, but I still constantly think about it, and I wish I could just go back because it was such a great time. And I made so many amazing memories, met so many amazing people. Yeah, it's just one of those things that you just go like, yeah, I wouldn't trade those memories for the world, honestly, because it was, just take me back, you know? So I just did kind of like a bit of a wing with that gold and just put some of it underneath. If you like, you can also take a little smudging brush and smudge that eyeliner a bit so it creates kind of more of a shadow instead of like a sharp line. I do like to do that with eyeliner sometimes. Also, if you were wondering why there was tape on my face, it's because it helps make like way sharper lines so that you don't have to like cover everything with concealer to get those lines, or you know, if you don't want to be that careful or if you're not that precise, it helps. Next up, I'm gonna go in with the Essence Lash Princess mascara. I have heard people rave about this mascara, so let's see if it's all it's cracked up to be. That's pretty good. I think, you know, I don't know how well you can see that, but it definitely makes them longer, darker, and it doesn't really clump. So yeah, I mean, for somebody like me who doesn't feel comfortable wearing false eyelashes, because I feel like my eyes would just fall off because they can't stand anything, this is a pretty good mascara. Lastly, I'm gonna go in with this Metal Matte Lipstick by Colorina. It's like this copper, it's called Edry. It's kind of like a copper gold shade. All right, and this is our finished look. Weird thing to say about this lipstick, it kind of smells like artificial orange flavoring, kind of like a Fanta. Anyway, this is our final look. Got a little Irish flag thing going on. If you guys liked it, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you recreate this look, make sure to tag me on Instagram. Aside from my Instagram, in the description below, you can find my writing page, I guess, where I have my short stories and poems and articles and whatnot. So if you want to have a look at those, definitely do it. And I will see you guys next time. Okay?